First of all, I want to thank all of you teachers for making time out of your lives to come here. I know some of you are parents and maybe with children who are home today and tomorrow in an unscheduled way. So you're coping with that a logistical issue as well. So thank you very much for being here. Thank the organizing committee. My boss, Zach, who's my boss while I'm here. And it's good to see friends that I've known now for years. And so when I do come here, I feel like I'm coming home to family. So thank you very much. Now let's open this piece of technology and we'll see if it works. Okay. So first they ask me for my password. We don't want the wrong person to use the computer. And then we don't have to be on the internet. So it's working fine. Let's see if the sound is working. But we'll find out, won't we? Okay. So I'm delighted to be here. And Elizabeth Murray, who is a project manager, had planned to be here, but for a medical problem, she can't, so she sends her best regards. She's fine otherwise. She's just doctors said she shouldn't be on long airplane rides. That's basically the issue. And Dan Fry, who's the co-principal investigator, also participates in this. So I list the three of us as co-authors. And basically, Blossoms used to stand for Blended Learning Open Source Science or Math Studies. If you got that, you get an A+ and you can leave now because you pass everything. But we don't use that anymore because Blossoms is such a friendly term, and you can just imagine children, small children, blossoming into learned adults. And so we just use Blossoms as the word. And basically these are videos, but they're not passive video lectures, but involve active experiential learning. And you'll see many examples of that. I just wanted to say formally, it's good to be back. So thank you for inviting us back. And thank you for continuing with Blossoms here in Malaysia. I have to say, can I say this? Malaysia is #1 with Blossoms. Don't tell any of our other partner countries I said that. So, from previous workshops, you see, we had lots of activity before. Lots of activity. And so what Blossoms is an online library of interactive video lessons for high school STEM classes. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And we have educators from around the world. And these are high school teachers make Blossoms lessons, professors, and students. And even company professionals. And so with 10 partner countries, we have many faces of Blossoms. Here are some of them. Here are some others. You recognize some of these? And so we celebrate the fact that we have different cultures. We have men and women, and we have students and non-students. Okay. So the goals of Blossoms are, first of all, to go away from rote memorization and teaching to a test, and developing critical thinking skills in the students. Engage the students as engineers and scientists would engage themselves in real problems, in observation, experimentation, and discussion. And connect abstract concepts to the real world so they can see the connection between the content they're learning in science and engineering and math and the real world in which we all live. Show how exciting STEM can be and excite more and more of them to careers in STEM, because that's where the growth in careers is worldwide these days. So we want to get them into STEM careers. And last but certainly not least, I mentioned this before, develop cross-cultural understanding and appreciation. So the students learn that they can learn from somebody who doesn't dress the same way they do, who doesn't speak the same language, but it can be translated into their language. And they can learn a lot that way. So we usually examine a topic from an unusual angle. We connect it to the real world. We show what real scientists and engineers do. And we don't mind having some fun once in a while. So there's a picture from Donkey Cart Physics, which is one of our first Blossoms lessons made in Lahore, Pakistan. And it shows what happens at 5 o'clock in the morning when the guy who runs the donkey cart has not studied Newtonian physics. And he loads too much weight on the rear of the axle, the single axle of the donkey cart. The poor donkey then has weight behind him and his front legs go up. And actually, I've seen this on the streets of Lahore, Pakistan. It actually happens. So we can make it fun sometimes too. Now, in contrast to MOOCs, there's always competition between MIT and Stanford. So, but MIT has MOOCs also. So MOOCs are good, and MOOCs are around, and they're serving hundreds of thousands of students. But in contrast to them, the MOOC is where the student is sitting in front of the computer and learning by himself or herself. Blossom's lesson, you, the teacher, are still in charge of the class. That's a huge distinction. And despite the fact that there are more cell phones here than there are toothbrushes, the students' cell phones are to be turned off and their computers are turned off. The only computer that's on is your computer, where you've downloaded a Blossom's lesson and you showed it on a screen in short segments, 2 and 3 minutes. And then that goes off, and then you're in charge of the class in a highly interactive learning experience. We call this a teaching duet. So the students, as customers of the educational service, are experiencing 2 teachers that day, our video teacher and you. And the success of the whole lesson is up to you to have them do some very active, engaging learning when the Blossom's lessons are turned off. So the Blossom's lessons go in short segments from 2 to 3 minutes to go off. Then you have 5 minutes of no video. The class engages in something very active, and it goes back and forth like this for a whole 50 or 60 minutes. New style of teaching. This is an example of what we have so far from UTM.
This is how a typical Malay wedding in Malaysia looks like.
Let me explain to you the connection between the Malaysian wedding that you have seen earlier with computer networks. The situation at the wedding banquet looks a bit chaotic. For your information, that is how chaotic a network within computer can be if there is no proper designs within computer network.
Through this video, we are going to study some concepts on forces and angles. Let us watch this scene.
Hari ini, semua rakyat beta akan membantu Pak Belalang untuk menyelamatkan negara kita. Untuk itu, rakyat semua akan terlibat dalam mempelajari beberapa konsep sains. Pak Belalang sebagai nujum negara akan berusaha mendemonstrasikan beberapa eksperimen sains dan simulasi bagi menentang musuh, iaitu nenek kebayan.
Today we are going to learn about the concept of heat and temperature. But first, let's watch an amazing video taken at the beautiful island of Langkawi, Malaysia.
Okey, lihat. Wow. Tak rasa panas ke? Tidak. Encik boleh mencuba? InsyaAllah. Ya, rasa tak percaya.
Muat, saya nak duduk sini. Tak ada, saya nak duduk sini juga. Ada, saya nak duduk sini. Tak boleh, nak duduk sini juga.
Seperti yang anda lihat, anak-anak pembaca bergaduh untuk mendapatkan tempat yang mereka sukai, terutamanya di tepi tingkap. Jadi siapa nak duduk tengah-tengah? Saya perlukan bantuan untuk menentukan susunan yang akan memuaskan hati mereka semua. A mewakili Adam, B mewakili Bakar dan N mewakili Noah.
We are going to discuss about an interesting chemistry topic related to electroplating, but first, let's take a look at these photos.
The process is carried out in an electrolytic cell, an apparatus consisting of positive and negative electrodes.
Selamat sejahtera. Hello, I'm Aisha. Have you ever flown a kite? It can fly really high and soars in the wind. Today, we will learn about the science and engineering of flying kites.
Wah, banyaknya. Macam-macam warna. Wah.
I'm going to talk about multiple regression analysis, or in short MRA. To understand the basic MRA, here you can see 7 properties: A, B, C, D, E, F, and SP.
Throughout this video, you will learn about neutralization, a chemical reaction in which an acid and a base react to form a salt. You will also learn about its application in daily life, especially on health and environment.
Our stomach contains hydrochloric acid, which dissociates in water to produce hydrogen ion and chloride ion.
Today, we're going to learn about energy conversion in generating electricity. First, let's take a look at the scene of shadow play.
In this video, we will use the art of baking a layered cake, which is a common delicacy in Malaysia, as an analogy to highlight the importance of using quality materials and following the correct procedures in road construction.
Asia and Amina, the cake is now ready. You can see the cake has a very nice texture and different layers. Now you know the importance of using the right proportion of materials and procedure during the process of baking a cake.
How about a round of applause for all those great teachers? We know there are more great videos currently in the edit suite that are in various stages of production. And we're hoping that some of you will work with us over the coming months to create and design new Blossoms videos. And that will be the focus of the workshop, the ideas of what goes into that. And even if you don't do Blossoms videos, how you might use them, or even if you don't use them, how you might teach a little bit differently in your classroom to have the students be very interactive with you. So here's some more pictures. There's Liz Murray in the middle with some familiar faces on both sides, previous workshops, and even some more familiar faces there. We remember this. And this is probably from Facebook. And there's even me making a point. I don't know what Bahara, I think that's a shirt that you gave me, right? Yeah. I still have it at home. It's one of my treasured shirts. I wear it once a year. And MIT says, where did you get that then? I want one, they said. Thank you very much.